Y'all come in. I think we have a quorum. Good morning, everybody. I'm Beth Mixovic. Oh, let's try that again for me. That was fun. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Ooh, love it. I am Beth Mixovic, and I serve on your board of directors. Thank you for coming today to join in this service. Whether you are new to our church, a long-term member, or a member of another UU congregation passing through, we welcome you. Our church has been gathering in Richmond since 1830. We have welcomed the stranger, dared to ask bold questions, and tried to bend the arc of justice on this earth. In the times where we did not succeed, we have regrouped and tried again. We hope you will find something here that touches your mind and your heart. Wherever you may be in your faith journey, know that you are welcome here today. We thank you for coming. We encourage everyone to tune into these Sunday morning services 5 to 10 minutes early in order to catch the rolling announcements. This is a good way to stay informed about our church community. I now invite you to silence your cell phones.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan Jr., and I have the honor of serving this wonderful congregation as the senior minister. Joining me this morning is our intern, Kirsten Fricks. Our music is provided by Joel, and we have our song leaders, Hyatt, Barre, and Reggie. So thank you very much. It is so nice to see your shining, smiling faces this morning, first Sunday of the new year. So let's see some smiles out there. It's so wonderful to be here. It's a tradition here at First UU that we ask our visitors to introduce themselves. So if you're visiting today, and as you're comfortable, please raise your hand, and the minister of the mic, Joel, will come to you, and please tell us who you are and where you're from. And I see one there, Joel. And he doesn't have his track shoes on, so be patient with him.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carrie York. This is my husband, Matt, our daughter, Olivia, and our other daughter, Everly. We're visiting from Iowa.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we're thinking about moving to this wonderful area. So we are UUs. Crazy enough, in Iowa City, there is a UU society, and we're a part of it. So we are it's just amazing that we're here among you awesome
Welcome.
people. So.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Pettit, and I'm the president of the board of directors for the Shepherd Center of Richmond, and you're going to be hearing a little bit more about that a little bit later. So I will defer until then.
Welcome. Okay. Okay, Joel, I guess you can run back to the piano there. Okay, now please rise as you are comfortable and greet your neighbors and welcome our visitors. This thing is very distraction. Huh? Can I just lift it up a little bit? The mic? Like that? Yeah, that's fine. Right. We come to worship today to hear the good news, to hear stories of faith, hope, and love. We come to worship today needing love in our lives, love for families, friends, strangers, and even enemies. We come in search of truth and reason. We know that doubt, fear, and hatred are everywhere and can shake even the strongest. Spirit of life, in this hour of worship, shape us into faithful, hopeful people. Touch our hearts, open our hearts, fill our hearts with love that passes all understanding. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. Today's chalice lighting reading is You Are Beloved and You Are Welcome Here by Reverend Joan Javier Duval. You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or renewing your promises.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, we light
This chalice.
And please rise in body or in spirit, and let us sing our opening hymn, 299, Make Channels for the Stream of Love.
Today's reading is by Adrienne Marie Brown from Emergent Strategy. Do you already know that your existence, who and how you are, is in and of itself a contribution to the people and place around you? Not after or because you do some particular thing, but simply the miracle of your life. And that the people around you and the places have contributions as well. Do you understand that your quality of life and your survival are tied to how authentic and generous the connections are between you and the people and the place you live in and with? Are you actively practicing generosity and vulnerability in order to make the connections between you and others clear, open, available, and durable? Generosity here means giving what you have without strings or expectations attached. Vulnerability means showing your needs. So this is All right, so this is our multi-generational service this month. And so I'd like to have all the young at heart, or people who would just like a little bit more room to move, to come to the front or to step out into the aisles. And if you choose to stay seated, I also have motions for you, so you are all encouraged to participate. Does anybody want to come forward? So we're going to do something a little bit different today. Today we're going to connect our values with our movements. And in this way, we're going to embody liberating love, both to feed our own spirits and to help us carry that love out into the world. So I need everybody to stand up. You may stay seated if you'd like, but everybody up here, stand up and give yourself a little bit of room to move around, okay? So first I'm going to tell everybody, we're going to go through the motions once. I'm going to teach them to you, and then we'll do it together, all right? Are you paying attention? Yes? Okay, great. So first we're going to reach down to touch the power of the earth. So you can bend over and touch your toes, or you can just reach down with your hands, or you can wiggle your toes. And if none of those movements feel good in your body, maybe imagine yourself doing them, okay? We're going to then lift our hands up to the sky for inspiration. And if that doesn't feel good, you can just maybe look up for inspiration, okay? Then we are going to share what we have by scooping it up and then offering it out into the world. And then we're going to receive what we need by pulling that back in. And if you don't want to move your arms, you could lean your head forward to share and put your head back to receive. The next part's really fun, okay? We're going to stomp out injustice. We're going to stomp, stomp, stomp. Or you can clap, 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 okay? We're going to move in the wind, so we can move in the wind. We can make smaller wind motions if that's better for us. Then we're going to do some balance. So please, we're going to see what it feels like to be off balance, uncomfortable. If you're seated, you could maybe lean side to side, and then find your center, so you're back balanced and steady, okay? We are going to squeeze and feel all the loves inside of us. Squeeze really tight, and then we're going to release it out into the world. All right, excellent. So now we're going to do that, and we're going to go through all of the motions 3 times. And each time we're going to try to get faster. So let's see if we can manage it. All right, ready? Everybody ready? Okay. We're going to reach down to feel the power of the earth. We're going to reach up to the sky for inspiration. We're going to stomp out injustice. We're going to share what we have and receive what we need. We're going to move in the winds of change. And we're going to try balancing and finding our center. We're going to squeeze all the love we have inside and release it out into the world. All right, can we do it faster? Let's see. We're going to reach down to feel the power of the earth. We're going to reach up to the sky for inspiration. We're going to share what we have, receive what we need. We're going to stomp out injustice. We're going to move in the wind. We're going to balance and be off balance and be okay being uncomfortable for a while and then find our center again. We're going to squeeze all the love we have inside of ourselves and release it onto the world. All right, let's see if we can do it even faster. Okay, ready? We're going to reach down to feel the power of the earth. We're going to lift up to the sky for inspiration. We're going to share what we have, receive what we need. We're going to stomp out injustice, move in the wind of change. We're going to go off balance and then find our center. And we're going to squeeze all the love we have in the world and release it into the world. Excellent, thank you all. Please find your seats.
Back to follow. I'm Ralph Grainer, a longtime member of this congregation, a member of your Share the Plate Committee, and a member of the board of the Shepherd Center of Richmond. So it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce someone you've already heard from, and that is the president of the board of the Shepherd Center of Richmond, Peter Pettit.
Well, good morning, everyone, and want to thank you very much for the generosity of your Share the Plate program. The Shepherd Center of Richmond is a totally volunteer organization, not totally, but mostly volunteer organization, and we are dedicated to helping older adults remain active, independent, and engaged throughout their years. We do this in a couple of different ways. We have a driving transportation program where we help people who can no longer drive. We drive them to their medical appointments or dental appointments and help them do their grocery shopping. All volunteer-based, all with our own cars and all with our own gasoline. And we also have a very, very rich lifelong learning program, which we call our Open University. And we have 3 sessions throughout the year, 3 8-week sessions throughout the year. And we offer a rich, very, very rich offering of courses in history, in current events, in languages, in architecture, and many other subjects. So we hope that you will join us sometime. You can visit us at tscor.org. Ralph knows the organization well, so ask him, or if you catch me, that's fine. And now we will gratefully receive your offerings and use them very wisely, and they will be very, very well received. Thank you very much again for your generosity.
Thank you. This is a short jazz composition, which I will try to do justice to. It's called Skating in Central Park, and the author is John Lewis, who was a member of the Modern Jazz Quartet, not the famous John Lewis of Stamping Out Justice fame. And it's from a recording made with Bill Evans and the great guitarist Jim Hall, Skating in Central Park.
As we enter to this time of meditation and prayer, our prayer this morning are words from Naomi King. When the world's violence shatter the joy of a moment, we pause and reach out for the hands that remain. We open our hearts with love. When despair rises as a monster from the deep and drags down one of our own, our answer is that we open our hearts with love. With hatred and anger, rage and fire and suffering, we bend to pick up the wounded, to bind ourselves, and we open our hearts with love. When fear whispers, build more gates, add more locks, the blessed are those who defend themselves. We rock those fears to sleep and let them rest as we open our hearts with love. People would do unspeakably cruel and horrible things. We know this fact. We live and die this daily, all around the world, in every community and every wasteland. But we know the answer is found only with one action, and so we open our hearts with love. Hatred never ceases by hatred. By love alone can be healed. This is the truth we affirm. We live with courage and with the wider and wider circle that's force that bends our lives to ones of mercy, justice, and compassion. We open our hearts with love. It's the truth. Just by being born, you are loved. There's something within you and every person that can be loved. We open our hearts with love. In love, we pray for those families, those individuals, all the persons here and everywhere who are desperately sure that there's not enough love in the world for them to have some, who are desperately sure that they do not matter. In love with life, in love with the beloved, we turn to answer that desperation with assurances. You are loved, you are lovable. We will and do love you. Now attend to your life work to love. It's the only legacy that matters. Let us now enter into a moment of silent reflection. hymn for meditation, number 95, There's More Love Somewhere. Our second reading for the morning, The Gift of Liberating Love by Scott Taylor. Love, it sits in the chest, at least at the start. It's what makes our hearts beat again after being broken, and our lungs breathe again after being closed off in the dark far too long. For some, it came in the form of our grandfather's eyes, which saw us as carriers of something bigger and more precious and older than our little bodies disclose. For others, it arrives as we press hard against our mother's warm skin and heard a speechless whisper say, "We can always go home." We recognize love as the thing that allows us to finally remove our mask, or that which said, "I don't want you to take it off until you are ready." We were taught love by those who arrived in the midst of our fears. We shook as we shook, instead of simply trying to make our trembling steps. But here is the secret, the inevitable awakening, the wonder that each of our lives is meant to reveal. Love doesn't just love us, it asks us to become it. And that's why those metaphors of comforting quilts which wrapped us in their warm warmth would never do. Because true love is always a thunderstorm that cracks us clean open so echo of the other breaking hearts can make their way in. Yes, it wants us to be whole and strong, but love's deepest longing is that we will use that strength to turn down the structures that leave others bloodied and bruised. We must always remember what Selma, prophet of peace, regularly preach. Love and power are always rightly wed. And maybe this is where the second secret comes loose. As I shake the walls to let others free, I learn that the ones I liberated includes me. We all have our working definition of love in our minds. Love is one of the words that we instinctively know what it means. When we sing about love, and I can imagine that maybe 100 million love songs that has been written throughout the history of humanity, and we watch movies about love. How many of you have seen love accurately more than once? We read romance novels about love. And I'm old enough to remember those Harlequin romance novels with Fabio on the cover. Love is a part of what it means to be human, and no matter what culture you live in, most people say they know something about love. Now let me remind us that love is not confined to a single expression. Love manifests in diverse ways we connect, through friendship, familiar bonds, romantic partnerships, and compassion we extend to strangers. And we honor the many paths of just understanding love and the sacredness of each of these connections. And love in its purest form is the guiding force that unites this diverse community. And in our quest for truth and meaning, love serves as our compass, our North Star. It teaches us to embrace the sacred spots within each of us and encourage us to build walls, fostering spirit of inclusivity that transcend differences. But this morning, the love that I'm talking about is not romantic or sentimental love. The type of love that I'm talking about is the unconditional and universal love as a foundation for our action in the beloved community. This love is the most powerful in the universe and can overcome fear, hatred, violence, and injustice. It is not a sentiment, but a practice that requires courage, compassion, and commitment. The love that I'm talking about is the love at the center of our Unitarian Universalist theology, the love at the center of our values. The love is the foundation of our principles and our source for information for many of us. In a recent reflection I read, written by the Article 2 study commissioners, the folks who are revising our values and principles in our UUA bylaws, they remind us that love is the deepest theological grounding value. We respond to the call of love because it is our common theological core. It can motivate us, illuminate our deepest commitment to each other. And with love at our center, we are motivated to seek justice and compassion, accept and encourage one another, respect democracy and diversity. With love at the center, we care for the earth and human living beings. Love connects us to the sacred, whether we call it God, spirit, nature, or something else. And love is the common thread that binds us across different beliefs and backgrounds. This love is central to our UU value. This love is liberating. And as a guiding force, liberating love compels us to approach this journey with humility and openness. It invites us from a diverse perspective, recognizing that we are richer understanding in the collective wisdom of various experiences. Now, liberating love weaves its thread connecting us to the core principles that guide our shared journey, and at the heart of Unitarian Universalism lies a fundamental acknowledgement that every individual is valued. It is from the well springs of recognition that liberating love emerged, urging us to see beyond the surface and recognize the divine sparks within every soul. And this recognition forms a bedrock for our commitment to justice and compassion. So liberating love challenges us to break free from societal norms that perpetuate inequality and injustice. It beckons us to confront the shadows of oppression that linger in the corners of our world. It calls us to stand with those voices which have been silenced and to dismantle the system that perpetuate inequality and to create a society where liberation is not just a distant dream, but a lived reality. And as Unitarian Universalists, we are called not merely to observe the struggle around us, but to actively engage in the work of dismantling the chains that bind our fellow beings. And when we embrace liberating love, we discover the transformative power of empathy and connection, and it encourages us to engage in a dialogue that transcends differences, live with compassion, and build bridges of understanding. In this way, our community become a living testament to the idea that love can liberate us from the shackles of ignorance and prejudice. Yet liberating love is not a passive force, but an active, dynamic energy that propels us into a world as agents of change. It's challenged us to move beyond our comfort zone, to confront the discomfort of growth, and be advocates of justice in our immediate spheres of influences. Liberating love tells us it's not an isolated endeavor, but a communal effort, a symphony of hearts and minds working in harmony. And we must embody liberating love, which necessitates a commitment to a lifelong learning and growth. It's challenged us to confront our biases, unlearn harmful patterns, and embrace the discomfort that often accompany personal transformation. It calls us to question the status quo, to challenge the structure that perpetuates injustice, and envision a world where the inherent work for dignity of each person is celebrated. In this spirit of love, let us be courageous co-creators of a just and inclusive world. And through this process, we become not only better individuals, but a catalyst for collective change. Liberating love is found in moments of forgiveness where the weight of resentments is lifted, allowing our hearts to breathe freely. It's manifest in unconditional acceptance, embracing others for who they are, and unburdened by expectations. Liberating love is the catalyst for personal growth, creating an environment where individuals are empowered to be authentic without fear and judgment. So I'm reminded of a biblical example that epitomized liberating love being found in a moment of forgiveness. Now I imagine some of you are familiar with the parable of the prodigal son. This is a classical example of love as a father gives his son the freedom to choose his path, even he knows it will lead to pain and ruin. The father does not force his son to stay nor disown or reject him, and he waits patiently and lovingly for his son to come to his senses and return home. Now, when the father sees his son from afar, he runs and embraces and welcomes him back without any condemnation or resentment, and celebrates his son's restoration and rejoices in liberation love. Now, we all know of a prodigal son, daughter, friend, or co-worker, and liberation love calls for forgiveness without judgment. It calls us to welcome folks back into community without any condition, to welcome folks into covenant when they have broken their vows 1,000 times. Liberating love calls us to love unconditionally. So in the immortal words of Tina Turner, what love got to do with it? I'm glad you asked. Everything. Because love is the force that craves, that cause, transform, and harmonize, connect, and empower. Liberating love is the essence that propels us forward, breaking down barriers and fostering a community where each individual can flourish. It calls us to be agents of positive change, to build bridges across divides that fragment our world. And the interplay between liberating love and our shared faith should inspire us to be active participants in this transformational process and knowing that love has everything to do with it. So this transformation process first happened when we love ourselves. Now, this may sound selfish or narcissistic, but it is not. To love ourselves means accept ourselves as we are with our strengths, our weaknesses, our joys, our sorrows, our hopes, and fears. To love ourselves means celebrating our uniqueness and expressing our gifts and talents. To love ourselves means to respect our self-worth and nurture our self-growth and nurture our spiritual growth. And to love ourselves means to forgive ourselves for our mistakes and learn from them. To love ourselves means caring for our physical, mental, and emotional well-being and seeking help. Now, you don't know how often I hear of someone needing help from a third party or by Facebook, but there's no shame in seeking help, and there's no judgment here. Liberating love demands that we love our neighbors, and I know that might sound obvious, but it's not. We must love our neighbors to recognize their humanity, joy, and sorrows. And we should respect their belief and choices, even if they may differ from ours. And now, with the election season right upon us, it may be hard for us to respect some folks' choices and belief, but we have to try. And to love our neighbors means listening to them with empathy and curiosity and speaking honestly and kindly. To love our neighbors means supporting them in their needs and sharing their joy. And to love our neighbors means cooperating with them in common goals and resolving conflicts peacefully. Liberating love calls us to love our adversaries, and this may be easier said than done. But to love our adversaries means acknowledging their humanity, challenging their actions and words that harms us and others, but not demonizing them or dehumanizing them. Don't call them out or call them back into covenants. And when we love our adversaries, we must understand their motives and perspectives and often alternative opportunities. And we have to forgive them for their wrongs and ask for forgiveness of ours. And that is the power of liberating love is all about. Susan Frederick Gray talks about the ethics of love. And ethics of love lives at the heart of our UU faith. It is the liberation love that reflects the core question, how are we to live? It calls us to courage to continually grow and learn and adapt in ways to foster love and justice. It is not a weak or sentimental love. It burns like the fire at the center of the chalice. It is a fierce weight that compels us to demand justice in our world, but also is fierce in how it calls us to courageous conversation, to radical practices of welcome, compassion, forgiveness, and belonging. And as we strive for justice and liberation, love becomes our guiding force. It empowers us to challenge structure, perpetuating discrimination, so true liberation requires collective action. And when embodied through acts of solidarity, love becomes a force to be welcomed with, a force that dismantles barriers that separate us and build bridges towards a more just and equitable world. And in times of adversity, liberating love offers solace and strength. It is the balm that heals wounds, the sparks that ignite hope, and the force that propels us towards the face of adversity. And through love, we find a reliance to overcome obstacles and work towards a future where all are free to survive and thrive. First UU needs to be a sanctuary where liberating love is not only celebrated in words or manifested in deed. We must be a community that actively seeks justice and dismantle oppressive structures and stand in solidarity with those who are marginalized. And in the spirit of liberating love, our congregation must be a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards a more compassionate and just world. So as I take my seat, let me remind us to carry the torch of liberating love with us as we navigate the complexity of our world. May the torch be a guiding star that leads us through the darkness of injustices, the force that propels us towards a more compassionate existence, and a unifying threads that bind us together as Unitarian Universalists. Let our hearts be steadfast, and our action be bold, and our commitment to liberating love be unwavering. May this be so.
And I visited her, thank you, and I had a recording that I had made. I was doing a disc jockey, a jazz show, and I would pass around the cassette. I was very proud of this at the time. And this piece calmed her down. I did not even notice it. I just played. She really couldn't talk anymore at that point. But my mother noticed it after. She said, what was that song? She calmed down a lot. So it's called A Child is Born.
This chalice extinguishing is by Rosemary Watola Trommer. I wish you the peace that comes when we trust ourselves to meet whatever life brings. I wish you love beyond happy endings, the kind of love that seeps into everything, no matter where the story goes.
And please rise in body and spirit as I give the benediction. We all emerge, dwell within, are transformed by, and called back to love. May your mind be humble before this mystery. May your heart grow hopefully by it. May you be sustained by this love always. And go in hope, go in love, and go in peace. And let us sing our closing hymn 323, Break Not the Circle.